Hi, welcome to the Lady T Workshop YouTube channel. My name's Tamara. This is where I get my craft therapy on. So glad you can join me. I say, let's get started on some Lady T therapy. Today we're working on some crochet. I picked up this pattern from yarnspiration.com. I love how they offer so many free patterns that you can choose from. This is a crochet hexagon blanket pattern, and I really loved the look of this blanket. I love that on the hexagons they have this spiral effect happening in each hexagon. You do have to make all the hexagons separately before you can attach and finish the blanket. Okay, so I didn't use the same color scheme as this pattern did. I'll offer this pattern on in the description, the link to this pattern. But anyway, so here is the color scheme I'm going with. It took me a while to choose the colors that I wanted to come up with, but I kind of wanted to go with a green theme. So here is a collection of what I thought went well together. I'm trying to get it all in this small space here. I'm still trying to figure out how to do crochet videos with my camera, so bear with me, please. So yes, so here is my collection. I know that that color next to the kind of gray, cream grayish color is more of a blue, but it's kind of a green, bluish, like blue-green color scheme. Yeah, so here we go. And then to the blanket is going to be attached with this ivory. So yeah, so and with every motif you have to line it with the ivory. And then you join it with the ivory. So it kind of like meshes well and blends well together. So I say, let's get into it. I'm just going to crochet a motif on this video. And then once I get all the motifs done, then I will do a video where we attach all the motifs together, the hexagons together to complete the blanket. Okay, super excited. Oh, I'm also excited that I get to use, this is my lovely stitch marker that I made for myself because I hated the stitch markers that I had because they kept falling off. But I made this stitch marker. I love music. This is totally me. And I have made other stitch markers that I am selling in my Etsy shop. And if you really like, this is an example of a set that I have available in my Etsy shop. And I will put a link to that shop in the description below for you to check out if you're interested. Hope you are. Okay, so let's get started. Got my stitch marker. Let's go. All right. So we're off. I'm not going to go over the pattern step by step. I'm just going to do this fast-paced crocheting here to kind of let you see how it all comes together. But it's basic. It's so simple. So you started off with doing a chain of 4, and then you kind of slip stitch into that first chain in that chain 4 to make that ring, and that's the center of each motif. And then you're working the pattern in a round. That's why we need the stitch marker. Do not forget to use that stitch marker, or else you'll be stuck having to kind of count and recount to make sure that you're following along with the pattern. Once you get the pattern down of the motif of each hexagon, it's going to be super easy to do it on your own. And you might be tempted to want to go without the stitch marker because, like, again, I said, you're going to be crocheting in a round. You're not going to be joining each round until you get towards the very end. Then you're joining, and I want to say you're like, this is each motif and hexagon is going to be about 13 rounds. Yeah, and I think it's the last 3 rounds. No, 11, 12, 13. Okay, so 14 rounds maybe. Yeah, 14 rounds, and then the last round you're going to, or last 3 rounds, you're definitely going to be joining instead of crocheting in the round. But I highly recommend that you use the stitch markers because it, to me, it makes the, like, each round go faster. I'm like, oh, I'm already done with the round. So it just makes it go faster, and it helps you keep better track of the rounds, so you don't have to like constantly count and make sure you're not making a mistake. I love that the stitch markers that I have here clasp, so it holds it in place pretty well. Not pretty well, super well for me. I hated the stitch markers that I had. They kind of just slipped out, and then I would lose where I was placing them, and then it was just such a headache. Anyways, okay, so as you're crocheting the hexagon, it's going to kind of look more like a square or a round, like a circle, and that's okay. Don't freak out, because towards the last 2 rows of your hexagon, that's where it's going to take the shape of the hexagon. And you're going to want to make sure you pay attention to those last 2 rounds, because you do not want to mess up. I know I did I think I did a full set of hexagons the wrong way, and I was so mad at myself because I thought I was better than the pattern and thought that I could just go off the pattern and not pay attention to what I was doing. And therefore, my unfortunate mistake is that I have a whole set of semi-hexagons. They're not even hexagons. They look more like squares because I kind of squared them off on purpose for some reason. I don't know. I just was not thinking. And then when I started working on the next set of color, I realized, oh my gosh, I did this wrong. I did not follow the directions. I goofed, and that's not fun, because then when you're not paying attention or you're not following the directions very well, you're going to, like, if you don't follow the directions, you're going to mess up. And stick to the directions. These directions are super easy to follow, and they even have like the grid that you can look at. And because some people like reading the words, and then some people like the grid, but it was both, either or, super easy to follow. I'm really excited about this blanket. I have not made a blanket that I have not kept for myself, so I'm shooting for keeping this blanket for myself, because I want one of my own blankets. I typically will crochet a blanket and sell it, or gift it away, or somebody just steals it from me. I made this beautiful mandala blanket, and somebody in my household just decided that they wanted to take it for themselves, and now it's theirs. I'm totally kidding. It's no big deal. My daughter's the one who loved it, and she took it for herself, and that's totally cool. Okay, so looks like I'm almost done here. I'm just crocheting so fast. Look at me. I'm a super fast crocheter. No, I wish. Holy cow. Now these things, so I worked on this nonstop, and it took me about, I want to say 40 minutes. Well, maybe I didn't work on it nonstop. I have kids, and they love to interrupt when I'm crocheting or crafting, and I will have to stop and work with them. Oh, look at that. See, the fact that you can see that stitch marker is not on means I am now in the last 3 rows, the last 3 rounds that don't need the stitch marker, because I'm slip stitching. So, yay, we are almost done with this hexagon. So after I make all the hexagons for the blanket, I'll come back and I'll show you how to join it together. At the end of this video, I'm just going to show you an example of what each hexagon is going to look with each color, so you can kind of see how it's gonna come out, kind of get a visual. I really liked the color scheme that the pattern shows. I just wanted to do something with the color of yarn that I have on hand. I didn't want to have to go to the store and hunt down, but I love how this is turning out. So you can see that it kind of has a bit of a hex. You just kind of have to work it out. All right, now I'm attaching the ivory color to give it that trim. So I wanted to attach the ivory color after I made all of the hexagons in each color, but I found that it's easier just to go ahead and do it complete each hexagon all the way through, so that when attaching I won't have to go through with the ivory and have to do that last round in each hexagon. So hopefully that will definitely work well in like cutting on time. Okay, so I love how on the inspiration website, when you find they have so many patterns, like I said, go check them out. I'll give you the link down below. When you click on a pattern, it also takes you to the list of like what you'll need, and you can straight up buy it straight from that website. And how convenient is that? You won't have to go to the yarn store and go hunt down the yarn that kind of matches, semi-matches, because sometimes if you go to the store, they don't always have the yarn color that you need, and that can be frustrating. So easy peasy to just buy it there. I kind of wanted to use my own yarn. Okay, so here we go. There is the finished hexagon, and now we have, I'm going to show you all the different colors, like a hexagon in every color that I'm going to use once I complete all the, see, I'm just stretching that out to kind of straighten it out, make it look nice. Yeah, make it look pretty. What do you guys think? Tell me if you think this color scheme is looking like it's going to look good. All right, there we go. Super excited. Can't wait to come back and with all of the finished sets and attach them together and make this blanket. This is the first time I'm actually doing this style of blanket. I'm super excited. Yay! Okay, so click like, subscribe, do all that jazz. I'm new here, so I don't know how the lingo here, but yeah. Thank you for joining me. Be sure to subscribe, like, share, and all that good stuff. Thank you so much. We'll see you later.